Welcome, and in this video I'm going to show you how to access and to use the virtual classroom big blue button. So the first thing, we will log into the website like this, and we will enter in our username and our password. Okay, so sometimes it might be necessary to change the language, so we will click on the settings, and it is the first option, and we can change it back to English. Okay, and at the top you can see the counter counting down, and that is until the class starts. So this will become visible 15 minutes before the class. So you need to log in 15 minutes before the class is due to start. For example, if the class is due to start at 12 o'clock, you will need to log in at 11:45. And then we click on the Enter Now button, and this will take us to the main room. And in the main room, we don't need to do anything. We can just wait, and then the moderators will ask us to test our microphone and our webcam. Okay, so it will just take a moment to load. And so we just have to wait until the moderator speaks to us. And we need to wait in the room until our lesson starts on the hour. But if we do not have any students in the class, we need to wait until 15 minutes past the hour. For example, if your class is due to start at 11, then we have to be in the main room at 10:45, and we have to wait to be moved to our class. And if there are no students at 11:15, then we can log out.
Hello, guys. Hello.
Hello.
Can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you.
Okay. Show me your webcam.
Okay.
Okay, I can see you.
Okay.
I will move you to your class.
Thank you. Bye-bye. Okay, so now we have been moved to our classroom automatically, and it will just take a moment to load. Okay, so now we are in the classroom. So once you get into the classroom, you will see your profile on the screen. So the first thing we need to do always is to make ourselves the presenter by clicking on this button. And now we can control the slides. So just before the lesson is due to start, we might need to upload the slides by clicking on this button, and then we click on show on today's lesson, and so we will then have the slides from today's lesson. And when we start the lesson, we need to turn on our microphone, and also we need to turn on our webcam, and click on start sharing. Okay, so now the students can see and hear us. And so when we want the students to speak, we will need to unmute them, and then they can speak. And it's best if we mute the students again afterwards, and that will just keep the noise down a little bit. The students can turn on and off their microphone. So if we want to keep it off, we mute them and then we click on the lock button. And now, for example, Max cannot turn on his microphone. Then we need to unlock and then unmute, and again they can speak. So to show you some of the tools that we can use, on the right hand side, at the bottom we have the arrows to control moving through the slides, so we can move forwards and backwards. And if we click on the numbers, we can jump to a slide. Okay, so on the second slide, we will need to play the warm-up video. So on the left, we will click on this button, open warm-up video, and this will bring up the video. And we simply click on play, and then this will play the video. And on the right hand side it says video watching status, and when we have students, this will tell us how long they have left of the video, and once they are finished we can close the video. Sometimes the video might not work, and then we would need to copy and paste the link from the lesson plan into the chat box so that they can then view the video. Sometimes the link is longer than 2 minutes, so we would ask the students just to watch the first 2 minutes. Okay, so once we move on through the slides, we will start to need to use the tools. So the toolbar on the right, we have a pencil that we can draw freehand, and a square, a circle, a triangle, a straight line, which is very useful on this activity to match up items, and we have a text box, so we need to draw the text box and then type. We can edit the text box, but once we click away we cannot edit it. So if you want to change that, we can click undo, and we can undo the last one or two, or we can click on clear the page to clear everything. And we can change the color and the thickness of the lines for all of these. For example, we can change the rectangle to orange and quite thick, like this. Or we could change the straight line to red and very thick. Okay, we can also change the color and the size of the text. When we select the text box, we can change the size and the color. Okay, and so the next thing we will look at, we can see in the top right that it is flashing orange, and this means that we have a private message. So if we click on this, we can see there is a private message from one of the students, and we can reply. We can also send public messages. And if we want to send to a different student, or maybe the moderator in the room, we click on options and we select the person we want to send a message to, and we can send a message. Okay, so occasionally we might want to zoom in and focus on something. So at the bottom we can control the zoom, and then we can use the pan and zoom icon at the top to move around in case we want to highlight something. And then we can zoom back out. Okay, for example, if we found a mistake in the slide, for example, there was a mistake, we would cross it out and we could type the what it should be, and then we need to also report this. So we would click on the small red triangle on the left, and this brings up an error report. So we would need to type in our email address and which slide there was a problem. For example, this one is slide 5, and we could choose the mistake, just for example like this, and then we click on the blue button at the bottom, and this would send the error report. And then we can simply close that. Okay, and once we get towards the end, we have the assessment. And to do the assessment, we click on this button, the one that looks like a pen and paper, the student assessment. And this will bring up the assessment form. So we can make some comments. Okay, and it's very important here that we ask the students if they can see this, as sometimes this doesn't work or the students cannot see it. So if they cannot see it, then we would close this, and then we would write on the slide. For example, like this. Okay, and we would tell the students what they need to improve. If we need more space, we can type anything extra into the chat box. So we can send Max a private message, say maybe improve on S ending sounds, and send a private message. Okay, and again you can see that Max replied. So a couple of other small features, we can click on this button, the blue circle, and this is if we have any problems in the class. For example, a slide is missing or we cannot move through the slides. We can click on these and it will send a message to the moderators and they will help you. Similarly, we can click on the black circle next to the students' names, and if they are arguing or they're making noise, we can click on this and again it will send a message, and one of the moderators or someone in the team will help you to deal with this. And occasionally we might have a problem. For example, the students might say that they can see a different slide, and if this happens, we would ask the students to refresh their screen. So ask the students to refresh, and if need be, we can also refresh our screen. And sometimes if there's a problem with the internet, you might see this. And on this screen, it's very important that we do not click on OK, that we simply check our internet connection. And if that is okay, then we click just on refresh, and this will get us back into the training class. Otherwise, we will be taken back into, or we will be logged out, and then we will have to log in again. So we simply click on refresh, and then it will reload and put us back into the training or into the classroom. Okay, and another problem that you might encounter, so we will, for example, we will log out now. This is the end of the class. So we will log out. And when you come to enter into your class, you might see that the Enter Now button is grayed out and we cannot click on it. Okay, so to get into the classroom, if we have a class, we then need to type in this, so start_teacher.php, and just push enter. And this is a shortcut back into the main room, and this can cut out a lot of problems. So now you can see we're in the main room, and then the moderator or the PO will move us back into our classroom or prepare us for our next class. Okay, so that is the end of this training video.